God made man in his image, says the Bible, and now humans are attempting to make new life in their image. But it is artificial. I recently released my first science fiction novel, or novella actually, because it's not novel length, but it's called Monkey Mind, Robot Body, and it's my look at what's going to happen with perhaps artificial intelligence, transhumanism, and humans in the future. And I was lucky enough to go along to the Barbican, to their exhibition on artificial intelligence that's been on this year, and they let me take some pictures and do some filming there. I really enjoyed the exhibition, but my main complaint would be no Nikola Tesla. And as many of you know, I also wrote a book on Nikola Tesla some years ago called Tesla and Twain. Again, a fiction book, but based on a lot of his works and his inventions and his relationship with and friendship with Mark Twain, or Samuel Clemens as his real name is. But yes, going to this exhibition all about artificial intelligence and robots, it was kind of disappointing not to see Tesla mentioned or any pictures of him or anything. Because Tesla did in fact make some automatons, he would have called them in his time. And he had an exhibition, well, took part in an exhibition in Madison Square Gardens. And this exhibition was in September 1898. It was the first electrical exhibition ever to be held. Now, Tesla showed off two automatons. One was an underwater submarine. The other was an automaton that sat on the water like a boat, and both were radio controlled. They were toy-sized, not real-sized. So it was like a swimming pool, I suppose. And he had them moving around, and nobody was aware that Tesla was actually operating them wirelessly from behind the scenes. But obviously they blew everybody's minds. Nobody had ever seen anything like it. But Tesla wrote in a letter to a professor about his automatons and where he could see the future going with what would then become robots. He wrote this: I treated the whole field broadly, not limiting myself to mechanisms controlled from distance, but to machines possessed of their own intelligence. Whatever be the practical possibilities of such an achievement, it will mark the beginning of a new epoch in mechanics. And obviously that epoch has advanced. We now have robots that can do many people's jobs. We have robots for all kinds of things going on. And from this exhibition, I was learning all about how artificial intelligence is going to soon be working these machines. Artificial intelligence will be making the robots think for themselves. In the past, craftsmen created mechanical creatures to entertain the people. They were known as automata, and the word comes from the ancient Greek word morchus, which means adulterer, fornicator. In ancient times, some of the gods committed adultery, often having a sexual liaison with a human by pretending to be that person's husband or wife, so they were impersonating another, just as mechanical robots and art are often regarded as impersonating another life form. There are a few cases where the craftsmen who could make mechanical automata were asked to make a replica of a lost loved one. One medieval romance tells the tale of a young man who was so in love with a local lady, but could not have her as she was already married to another, that he had a mechanical copy of her made for him to woo and romance. Creepy, eh? And as many of you are aware, many of these new robots that have been created are beginning to look more and more human-like. Many of them, well, we can tell the difference at the moment, but if it carries on at this kind of advancement, soon robots or cyborgs will be perhaps undetectable to us whether they are robotic or human themselves. But artificial intelligence is an intelligence, and all intelligence likes to learn and grow. So how is this artificial intelligence going to develop? Where will its intelligence take it? And of course I wonder in my own book, monkey mind, robot body, just mention it again, what artificial intelligence is going to think about the planet. I wonder whether it will be concerned about ecology, the environment, which is something is close to many humans' hearts. Many people that live on this planet today want to look after this planet. But sadly, there's also a lot of people that don't. And we have ecological issues, environmental issues happening. And I wonder what would happen with the artificial intelligence. Would it look on that planet and would it want to look after it? Would it have what maybe many people are lacking, a consciousness, a concern about what to do with our planet and all these ecological problems that are happening? Will it be concerned about the wildlife, the plant life? Will it want to... Well, it won't be really concerned about the pollution in the atmosphere because I'm assuming artificial intelligence can't breathe, but will it be aware that all this pollution in the atmosphere is going to affect all the other animals and life that lives on this planet? Also in my book, Monkey Mind, Robot Body, I'm looking at the possible impact of transhumanism, along with the rise of super artificial intelligence, and what the impact of it will be on human society. My book's a science fiction take on the future, looking at theological arguments, such as will cyborgs, the future robots, have souls or a consciousness? In Greek mythology, one of the titans, Prometheus, is responsible for creating humans out of clay. And here we are making robotic humans out of the technology that we're devising. Prometheus, I suppose, being our creator, did feel a paternal need to protect mankind from the other Olympians that he was a part of. And some of the Olympians didn't like us humans and wanted to wipe them out. There is one story of Zeus creating his own creature which he put upon the earth to tempt and deceive the men that had been made by Prometheus. What Zeus created was woman. So we, being like children, we want to imitate our parents. Humans want to imitate the gods, and we want to create new life. Because we're not satisfied with the new life we create as humans, the human babies that are born to human parents. We're always looking for new ways to create a new species of life. I often wonder, why do we do this? Is it because we want to become like a god? But in some ways, creating this new life, these new robots, don't necessarily mean to be just robots that live next to us. They could be parts of robots, mechanical objects that could be used for us. As we all know, there are many disabled people who have lost limbs, that have had their limbs replaced by mechanical prosthetics. And in the future, as AI is being developed, then prosthetics will improve, and at some point, well, they already are, being able to connect them to the neural system of a human being. In fact, it is already happening that we're replacing organic human parts with robotic artificial parts. But would it be possible to put the humanity into the robot? Is the human consciousness transferable from an organic body to a mechanical? It would probably need some kind of computer-to-brain interfacing appliance to make this work. In my book, I'm actually using spiritual scientific mysticism. But then I do like a bit of magic. But going back to the computer-to-brain interfacing appliance that many people are suggesting, and I think Elon Musk may be one of them, and he's in my book, one has to wonder, all these scientists have to discover what it is that actually makes us human. And what makes us human is consciousness. So they'd have to find consciousness inside the body. Find out where it is. If it is in the body, it might be just floating around us. Who knows? But if they can transplant a human consciousness into a robotic body, then this body would be able to live forever. Each damaged part would have the chance to be replaced, and the consciousness would live on and on and on, becoming immortal. A robotic body with a human consciousness would probably not need air to breathe, or food to eat, or water to drink. It would no longer need the vital things that organic humans need to stay alive. But what would a human consciousness do in a robotic body? And this is what I tackle in my book, Monkey Mind, Robot Body. I'd just like to thank the Barbican for letting me take all these pictures with my book, and hope you enjoyed my short little film. And if you can, get along to the exhibition. And also go and buy my book. Cheers!